We're going to continue our series of business cards. Why is this so important? Because this is what's going to bring you clients. This is going to also help you grow your confidence and for you to know and feel comfortable within the subjects of real estate.
Exactly. And not only that, you have to break the ice, which is create rapport.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to little touch the person when you ask the favor to give you referrals. Mm-hmm. And I mentioned in the previous about a challenge that you have. People love to help people in challenge.
That is true.
And if you show challenge that I'm gonna talk to 10 people that really wants to help me, and to these 10 people, I will ask 5 referrals. Imagine you're gonna have how many? 50. And then that 50, you keep talking. That's the way that you start the business. And then at the end, you let the person go. You change the subject because you don't want to just talk about business because then people don't want to be your friend too. And then, so it's good, a little hint. I show that I always ask, never a yes, no question. I always ask, give the choice. Then people answer based on the choice. If I ask you the previous one, I tell you what is better to call you tomorrow or the day after, because that way I give them to the person the choice to choose,
and then they feel committed.
Exactly. But if I say, when do you think I can call you? Then the person is going to start like, oh, maybe tomorrow I have this, other day, the other, and then you don't give in the rush to that. You have, remember, a challenge. The person is understanding that you have a challenge, that you have like 10 days to get 10 people. You're going to talk to one person per day, not including the holiday. That's why I mentioned. And then they're going to give you 5 referrals. That's why it is the rush. It's not that you rush it. It's because you are in a challenge.
You are.
So one is to break the ice, say about your challenge, you are new, and then you say goodbye and you ask for the appointment. And then that way the person is prepared when you call to have already the 5 referrals.
Usually people start bombarding us with questions that we are perhaps not ready to answer, especially if you're new in the industry. So let's do that exercise real quick.
Okay, so let's say Jenny is gonna ask me for question about the market because she's maybe shopping around, but she don't want to tell me, but she wants to decide based on the answer. So when people ask, as I mentioned, it could be somebody that could be interesting. So
but if you're a new agent, here's the plot twist. If you're a new agent, how do you answer those questions?
Exactly.
So let's pretend you're a new agent, you don't have 30 years of experience.
I'm now fine in the coffee place.
So I'm gonna approach Ivania this time. And I'm like, hey Ivania, how are you?
Hi, Jenny. Good
oh
to
my
see
God,
you. Wow, I'm so
same.
happy to see you.
So I still have your business card from the last time we saw each other.
Yes.
And I do have some questions for you. Because you know what?
Good.
I told you that my neighbor.
More than welcome.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you sharing your business card with me. So I told you that my neighbor wanted to sell her house, but you know what? She started asking me some questions that I might as well ask you.
Okay.
How do you see the market right now?
Well, I always going to give you, Jenny, depending the person, what they're looking for. For example, if you are selling, it's always a good time as well, because anyway, right now the market is a little cold depending the area. So it's better to sell now, but then in case the market go a little down, then it will go eventually up. So that's why it's better for seller who really wants to sell and they need to sell now to sell now.
So I've heard that, but what happens if I sell now and then the market actually goes up and then I lost money?
We never are going to have the crystal ball, but based on how the market is working right now, so right now it's better if you are really decided to sell now.
So I've been checking on Zillow, helping my neighbor, and we've been noticing that our neighborhood is going really high, but some neighborhoods are not so high. Why do you think that's happening?
It depends. For example, if you decide to go, I don't want to mention, but if you decide to go to Homestead, for example, then if the area doesn't have so many workplaces to work, and the market is changing, that's the beginning of area that could the market drop more than if you live, let's say, in Coral Gables, for example. It's a different market, I know, but I'm just saying that because in Coral Gables or Brickell, for example, even though that they have a lot of construction, they have a lot. It helps.
Okay, so it creates a supply and demand.
Exactly.
Yeah, I understand. And I did notice that Homestead has a lot of construction happening, so maybe they have an abundance of inventory.
Exactly.
That's what I'm thinking here. I don't know. Is that true? What do you
They
think?
have a lot of inventory. Today we're not gonna talk
Yeah.
much about that, but it's to answer the question that people ask. But I give an example.
Yeah.
So there are more questions that we're gonna talk about it
Yes.
to don't make it this so big. So we have the next video is gonna be about questions that people ask that prevent that you know how to respond and don't look like you don't have experience. Even though that you didn't sell anything yet, or you have long time not selling, but don't look like you don't know, because at least study the market and see and respond based on that. Don't respond based on your own experience. Respond in the market, and that's why it is important to study the market.
Well, hold on, before we hang up on this video, the one thing I've always told the agents I've worked with is that whenever, especially if you don't have the experience or you don't have the history in order to back up what you're about to say, is that you can say, well, you know what, let me check with my team. My team has the experience in working this, and that. Even if you don't work in a team, guess what? Your team is your brokerage. Your broker has all the experience and she's your team member. So at this point, you can say, you know what, let me check with my broker, me and my team, we do have a lot of experience in that, but let me see what they would suggest in this scenario. And then that way you don't look like you're alone or that you have zero experience. It looks like you're gonna go consult with your broker and they're gonna come to you with more expertise.
I love what you mentioned because some people get like, it's stuck there.
Yeah.
And then they feel that if they don't answer the question, people we don't know. It's better to say, I don't have the correct or the right answer at this moment, but I will talk to my broker.
Yeah, I would never say I don't know, because you don't want to come across as you don't know. But I would say, let me check with my broker and circle back. So, with that excuse, you can call them back and do a follow-up call.
That's the most important, because then you have that as a way to call them.
Yes. All right, ciao guys.
Follow us.